Okay, so let's move on to elections. India is the world's largest democracy. I used this word earlier, right? In a democracy, the citizens choose their leaders who form the government and run the country. The process of electing the leaders is called elections. In India, elections takes place for the entire country as well as for every state. All Indian citizens who are 18 years old and above cast their vote to choose the leaders. This process is known as voting, and people who cast their vote are called voters. Okay? Now, see, let's discuss these two paragraphs. India is the world's largest democracy. Democracy is what? Democracy is basically a process. Okay? It's a process like how do we want our leaders to be? Okay? One thing could be that, okay, fine, we have kings, okay, but we are not in those days, okay? We don't have king system, okay? So what we do, we say, okay, we'll choose our leaders. Now, how do we choose our leaders? Like I said, Narendra Modi, our prime minister, it's not that, he one day comes out of his house and say, hey, guys, you know what, I'm the prime minister. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, or it's like your father. I just go out and say, hi boy, hey, I'll be the next president. No, it doesn't work like that. What happens is that the entire country and the citizens, okay, entire country and the citizens, what they do is they select, okay, they vote. Okay, there could be a person A, person B, person C, person D, for example. Okay, four of these guys, they say that we want to become the prime minister of India. So what we all as citizens will do, okay, fine, you can have a different choice, I can have a different choice, Mr. Nayak could have a different one, somebody else could have a different one, Kushal's dad could have a different one. So everybody will have a different choice. So let's say you and I, we give it for Mr. A, Mama gives for Mr. B, Kushal's dad is giving for C, somebody else is giving for D. This is known as democracy. Okay, you've got the right to decide who do you think is best for you. And out of all these votes, like I gave for A, you gave for B, and Mama gave for B, and somebody else for D, whoever gets the largest number of votes becomes the prime minister. Okay, so India is a democracy in which the citizens will choose their leaders, and these leaders then they form the government and then they run the country. Okay, and this process of electing the leaders, the process of electing the leaders, there's a person 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We did the elections, and let's say we elected person number 2, okay, because this was 1. So person 2 was elected. So this process of electing the leader is known as election. Okay, so election is a process, keep that in mind. Now in India, elections takes place for the entire country as well as for every state. Very important for you to understand. See, what is India? India is a country. Okay, let's say, can I come up with some example real quick? Okay, this is what my tablet, okay, tablet packet. It has how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 tablets. Okay, so this entire thing is a packet, let's say a country, and it has 4 separate tablets, which is like what? Let's say Goa, Maharashtra, Punjab, and Tamil Nadu, like this. So elections will happen for the whole country so that prime minister comes, and for each state so that chief minister comes. So now your question is, you can answer it later, who's the chief minister of Goa? And who was the chief minister of Goa before this current chief minister of Goa? Okay. So yeah, it happens for the country as well as for the state. In fact, in Goa, for even the panchayats also, I mean, that's a separate topic. But then see, for anything and everything, elections happens in India, and that's a very good thing. Okay. All Indian citizens who are 18 years and above, they have to cast their vote. That means you cannot actually go, Roche, to cast your vote. Why? Because you're still not 18. Baba also cannot go because he's not 18. But me and mom can vote. Dada Dadi can vote. Okay, Kushal's dad can vote. So, you know, these guys, whoever is 18 plus, I'm sorry, can vote. So when you vote, the process is called as voting. And the person who gives the vote is called as a voter. So I am a voter. I went and I did the voting and I elected the government representative. This whole thing, this is the election. I'm reading now, okay? Elections need to be planned and organized properly. The Election Commission is an organization that plans and conducts elections in India. It decides the dates, the venue, holds the elections, calculates the results, and announces them. It's a very important paragraph of 4 lines. Okay, just read. I'm reading it all over again. Pay attention. Elections have to be planned and organized properly. Okay. The Election Commission is an organization which will be planning and conducting the elections in India. And they will be the ones who will decide the date, the venue, they hold the elections, counting of votes, and declaring the winners. So, few things here, what we've understood. See, election is a process, I just not told you, right? Election is the process of choosing the majority, okay? So, now, can election happen just like that? No, you have to plan it, right? Because what happens is that you have to make sure that the results are correct results, okay? There is no crime happening and everything, you know? So what happens is, take it like this, okay? How your teachers plan a day, your class teacher, how she or he plans, you know what they do? They come up with the timetable, okay? It's not like that now, okay, fine, let's do one thing, let's study maths today. Or you know what, forget it, let's start with history today. It's never like that. There's a plan, okay? So who has done the planning? I'm assuming your class teacher, maybe with Sir Oscar, they may have, you know, they may have come up with the plan that, okay, fine, on Mondays, let's have this. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays. So that's a government organization, Election Commission. Okay, I'm trying to relate it so that you understand. Okay, so Election Commission, I told you, is a government body. Okay, it's an organization with who they are the ones, they'll be planning this election. So Sir Oscar, class teacher, everybody, they plan, okay, Monday this, Tuesdays. Okay, so Election Commission plans, okay, when the election is going to happen, where it is going to happen. Okay, now when everything is done, then the elections is happening, how the election is going to happen, right? Like your Sir Oscar, your class teacher, your coordinator, all they have done is what? Now they have planned when? Monday. What? Maths, science, socials, you know, blah, blah, blah. How? Okay. Ma'am X will come for maths. Ma'am Y will come for bio. Ma'am Z will come for history. And likewise. So how? This is how it is happening. Where it is happening? In class 4, section A, section B, like that. Okay. So Election Commission planned it, when the election and how it's going to be. And then once the election is done, then they have, see what we are doing. I told you, I am a voter, Mama is a voter, Kushal's dad is a voter, the other one is a voter, that one is a voter. Everyone who's 18 plus, above 18 is a voter. So we have given our vote, blah, 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 blah. Now somebody has to count. Why we have to count? To know who's the winner, right? So Election Commission then will count also, and then finally will publish that, okay, A or number 1 or number 2, whoever this person was, he is the winner. He will form the government. So that is Election Commission's job, okay? Next paragraph. The Election Commission issues every voter an identity card. that has the details. Identity card is like how you have your school ID card, okay? It has the details like the name, address, date of birth, photograph of the voter. Each voter will carry the identity card to the place allotted to them for casting their vote. Like for example, I'm sorry. For example, let's say, if you are staying in Mapsa, okay? So can you, let's say I am staying in Mapsa. Can I go and vote in Vasco? No, I cannot, right? So which means I have to be in Mapsa. If I stay in Karanzali, can I go and vote in some far off Madgaon side? No, I can't. Why? Because if I'm in Karanzali, I have to go to nearby place, maybe in Talegaon or Karanzali or Donapal, somewhere over there. Okay. And when I go there, I have to show my ID card, an election card. Like I have an ID card here. Okay. Now this is not my election card, this is my work card, but then an ID card, which is known as voter ID card. It has the details like your name, your photograph, your address, all those things. Okay. And that proves it that you are the genuine voter who has come to give the vote. And this voting happens in one area. It can't happen that, okay, fine, I have to go for a vote. Where should I go? Should I go down to the security cabin? No. There is a dedicated, when your teachers plan this, they plan it, right? That where the class will happen. It's not like, okay, let's do it in ground, let's do it somewhere there. No, right? You have a dedicated class where you go and that's where it happens. So same is the case. This is known as polling booth. Okay, the next line says the place where the election happens is called a polling booth. Okay, these days voting is done through electronic voting machines, EVM. EVM, electronic voting machine. The voters can cast their vote by pressing just a button. Even this has become high tech. It's quite some time now. Earlier, in olden days, it used to be like, on a paper wherein we used to stamp it that, okay, fine, this is my choice. Forget about that. So basically, election happens and you cast your vote by pressing a button on electronic voting machine. Voting is done by secret ballot. Okay, voting is done by secret ballot. Why secret? Because this is the rule. The thumb rule is I should not know to whom Kushal's father is giving his vote. Similarly, he should not know for whom I have casted my vote. It's a secret. We don't discuss. Okay. Keep this once you become 18 years and above, or Baba, both of you, when you're casting your votes, nobody should know whether you have given it to A, to B, to C, to D. It is your right and it is your choice. Okay. The Election Commission ensures that the elections takes place in a fair and an impartial manner. Okay. So let's let's do the underlining here for this page first. Underline the word monuments. Then first paragraph, line number 3, evidence. Then okay, then you in this elections that thing, topic, paragraph number 3, line number 3, venue. And then the last paragraph, second last line, ballot. And the last line, impartial. Okay. So we are done with this. Now the do's. Okay, this is very important. The do's and the don'ts. Okay. To all those guys who don't know what I mean by do's and don'ts, let me tell you. Do's means that you should do this. Don'ts means you should not do this. Okay, so the do's and the don'ts. The do's are that the citizens who are 18 years and above must exercise their right to vote and should not let it go waste. They should vote once in the election. Okay, that means if you are 18 years and above and if there's an election happening, you should go and vote. Okay, you should not waste your vote. How do you waste your vote? By not going. So that's wrong. A democracy is strong only if you participate. If you do not participate, then don't cry, government is like this, government like that. Hello, did you cast your vote? Yes. Okay. The second do is voters vote and carefully choose a candidate who they think will work towards the betterment of the people. In case a candidate is unable to work properly, he or she will not be elected next time. It's like your class monitors, for example. You know, your teacher selects you as the class monitor or a class representative thinking that you will be doing a good job. But if you fail, then what will happen? Next time it won't be you, but somebody else, some other friend of your class, right? And the third do is we should ensure that the elections are fair and impartial. Okay, it's like if somebody is picked up from your class as your class monitor, it has to be a fair decision. You know, it shouldn't be that, oh, he's my teacher's favorite. No, and they never do it also. Okay, that's what the meaning of impartial, that they are not partial. Teachers always see, are you, if Raushan is going to be selected as the class monitor, they will definitely see things like whether, number one, Raushan himself is disciplined or not. Okay. Second, Raushan is good in studies or not. Okay. Third, will Raushan be able to convince and control his classmates? Yeah. And these are the things. So if Raushan is good at all this, the teacher will pick Raushan. But if Raushan will not perform, then Raushan will be dropped. Somebody else will be picked. Okay. So these are the do's which I discussed. The don'ts are voters should not get influenced by anyone. When I say voters should not be influenced by anyone, means the voters have to use their brain, their mind. It should not happen that, okay, fine, somebody comes to me and say, hey, let's go and vote for X. Why? Oh, I love X. Okay. And I said, okay, no, wrong. I should decide whether I should vote for X or I think Y is better than X. Because if I think Y is better than X, then even if my friend is asking for X, I'll say, Baba, I'm going for Y. Voters should not share the name of the person they voted for, as it is a secret ballot. Okay, like I said, I should not know Kushal's dad gave vote for whom, and likewise he should not know for whom I voted. Okay, so it's a secret ballot. Think about it. Look at the think about it. An ink mark. Is it working? Okay, that's not. Great. So basically what happens is, let's read first. An ink mark is applied on one of the fingers of every person who has cast their vote in the election. Now, why do you think this practice is followed? I am leaving this question for you to investigate. Okay, it's actually a very good question and an activity you have to investigate, and I am expecting an answer soon for this. Now, whatever is the activity there, you can go through it yourself. I'm here just to make sure that you understand this chapter, what this is all about. And looks like we are done with it. And yeah, the get set go will be done by you, my dear son. See you with the next chapter now. And I'll be sending you a worksheet as well. Plus, I am expecting the underlined words, the spellings. So obviously you will have to learn, but I'm expecting the synonyms. Okay. Good enough. So before we wrap up this chapter, I don't mind spending a couple of more minutes to once again go through it. Okay, this chapter is all about wherein we understand things like civic. Okay, we understand things like elections, governments, all those things. So it started with civics. Okay, and I told you that civics is what? Nothing but a study. It is the study of how you interact with your people surrounding you. It is a study of your knowing your rights and your duties. Plus it's a study of forming of a government in everything. Okay, be a good neighbor. Okay, be a responsible citizen. As you take care of your private property, you have to make sure you take care of public property as well. Then we spoke about the constitution. Constitution is what? It's a rule book which tells you what your duties are, which tells you what your rights are, and which tells the government how to run the country. Remember, I told you constitution can be like the rule book, let's say, of Sharda Mandir. How the school should be like, when will be the, when will the school begin, when will be the vacation, who will be responsible for what a student can expect. A student can expect good studies, student can expect good teachers, student can expect good facilities like sports and all. And what are the duties of the student in Sharda Mandir? Student has to be disciplined, student has to make sure he's not being absent from the classes, those kind of things. Then we moved on to elections. We saw that, okay, it's a democracy. India is a democracy wherein we choose our leaders, we elect. Okay, so it's a process in which anybody who is 18 years or above has to go and cast his vote. So he who cast the vote is the voter. Okay, and how do I cast my vote? By pressing a button on a machine which is known as electronic voting machine, and it's a secret bailout, a secret ballot. Okay, nobody knows to whom you have given your vote. And who conducts everything, the election? Election Commission of India. Okay, so Election Commission of India could be, again I gave you the example, let's say the Sharda Mandir Commission. Okay, they decide, they plan up everything, and then they come up and then they execute it. Okay, we saw the do's and don'ts, and that's about it. Good luck, boy. Study well and be ready for the questionnaire which I'll be sending. You have to solve it, and if you're stuck, you know what you have to do.